Hey everyone, One Trick Andy here. So if you've been playing Dead by Daylight this year, you know that the game has been in, for lack of better words, a state. And we've seen this year be riddled with bugs, especially the chapter releases. Most chapters have released in just a horrendously buggy state. Nothing is really working as intended. We've had Streetwise incidents, Last Stand incidents, and there's just been a lot going on. So in today's video, I just want to sit down for a moment and talk with you guys about the state of Dead by Daylight in 2025. So the first big thing I want to make a point about, Streetwise. Streetwise recently got reworked with the Walking Dead chapter and changed into a perk that when you pull items out of chests, they have 80% increased charges. You can say that's fair and balanced, whatever you want. The problem was, if you simply brought an item, equipped Streetwise, went up to a chest, and just kept putting the item in and out of the chest, literally any item would have infinite charges. From toolboxes to flashlights to medkits, you could make anything have infinite charges. Now the reason this was such a problem was, when this came out, generators were flying in literally about like 30 seconds at the start of the match. All someone would have to do is go to the basement, find a chest, spam their toolbox on it, and hey, they've got 150% increased gen speeds for the rest of the game. For about a week until this got patched, this literally caused a lot of people, myself included, to exclusively run Franklin's Demise. Problem was, Franklin's also got reworked in this update so that when a survivor drops their item due to them being hit, it doesn't drain charges anymore. So you couldn't even get rid of the infinite charges if you possibly wanted to. You were just forced to make the survivor drop their item and hey, hope they don't get it back later. Now, what really lit the flames in the community was the community manager's response on the behavior forums. They said verbatim, Streetwise does not meet the criteria for a kill switch. The team is aware and it is being monitored, but is not breaking the game. Now, I want you to use your noodle for a little minute. How is it that the one side can complete their objective 150% faster each with a glitch, not game breaking? Permanently 150% faster, the whole match. And the killer can't do anything about it. There is no counter to this, nothing you can do. And it's not game breaking? I don't know what they were thinking when they said that. And I am not sending personal hate or supporting anyone to send personal hate towards that. But you gotta be one of the stupidest motherfuckers to try and say that and not expect the community to be in uproar. Now, not only was Streetwise broken, we also had another perk completely break the balance of the game with this patch. One of Michonne's new perks, Last Stand. So the idea behind the Last Stand perk is you hide in the killer's terror radius for a certain amount of time, and once you've hidden in the killer's terror radius for that certain amount of time, Last Stand activates. You vault a window within a few meters of the killer gets stunned. Whatever you want to think about the perk, it was majorly broken. It essentially gave the survivors infinite finesse for the entire match. If you had Last Stand on and Last Stand was active and not used, you could just vault windows 20% faster for the entire match. Well, windows, pallets, whatever you want. If you could vault it, it was going to be 20% faster. Combine that with resilience, we had 29% faster vaults for free, all match. It was insanely broken. There was nothing you could really do about it because a lot of the time you would miss swings, you would be outplayed at pallets, and unless you had speed perks and you weren't a 115 killer, a lot of the times there just wasn't a lot you could do. Now, thankfully, these perks did get fixed quite quick after the community started to get an uproar about the community manager's comments on how they weren't game breaking and all of that good stuff. The problem is, Last Stand is being kill switched again and is still kill switched because there is a bug with it where for a quarter of your vault, if Last Stand is active, you just have invincibility frames. So unfortunately, that's been kill switched again. It's been a very rough launch for that perk, and yeah, it's not been great considering it's licensed content, and I spent real money on it. I'm assuming a lot of other people have spent real money on it, so it's just not the greatest look on behavior's end. Now we can get into the live stream incident. So as you all may know, Dead by Daylight hosted a Walking Dead live stream with Chandler Riggs from The Walking Dead, aka Carl, with Otstarver, G-Burb, Ghost Arcade, and Mish. So some of Dead by Daylight's arguably biggest streamers, especially Otstarver. and it went horribly, horribly wrong. The whole point of the stream was to just showcase the new Walking Dead chapter, showcase the survivors, the new map, and just goof off a little bit and have some fun. Problem was, they kept getting DDoS from their first match. So Oddstarver, being one of the biggest streamers and obviously having this happen to him millions of times, immediately knew the solution, which is to fill up the lobby spectator slots, and he tried doing this with his own moderators from his channel. They got kicked by behavior. They didn't trust Oddstarver, their biggest streamer, to sort out the issues they were having, plaguing their own stream. So he suggested, if they didn't trust his mods, to just put some behavior staff in there. They didn't even acknowledge him. They didn't say no, they didn't say yes, they just didn't do it. So they tried to play again. It didn't work. Chandler Riggs then tried to relay this message himself, which they told him no. They said, we can't do this. They were basically lying to him, saying they can't do it, which just led to Chandler Riggs very awkwardly walking off the stream. Another major thing to mention is they were banning and timing out a lot of people in the chat, myself included, for either criticizing behavior, criticizing the stream, trying to suggest help, trying to relay Otz's messages, and that was received intensely negative in the community. And in their apologies on Twitter, they did not once even mention the fact that they did this, and a lot of people are still angry over it, because it does just create a lot of distrust in behavior. Because how are we as a community supposed to have faith in the developers when we try and suggest things to fix the game and we get banned from the official game's channels for it? After they tried to continue playing and it just didn't work and all the streamers and Chandler left, Deathdorks and Eric Pope were unfortunately left to control the stream by themselves, and no hate to them, but it was just a disaster. They had to show off Behavior's new indie game. It has no face and nobody was interested. The stream went from about 9,000 viewers to 800 viewers in a matter of minutes, and they were still banning people, even talking negatively about the stream or Behavior. It was just a massive clusterfuck on Behavior's end. Again, after the stream for a few days, they were just completely radio silent, and before they even mentioned anything about the stream, they were shilling new Lara Croft cosmetics on their Twitter, which just caused even more outrage, because we were being ignored, all our concerns were being ignored, and they were still trying to push cosmetics right into our face while the whole community was on fire. The whole situation was the opposite of a good look for Behavior. So now, after all this, we now have a new plan of action from Behavior. A lot of content has been pushed back again. All for the sake of fixing more bugs, even though that is what we were originally supposed to be doing this year. But it's happening again with pushing back more content to fix more bugs, because that's the state of Dead by Daylight in 2025. The developers are out of touch. The community aren't happy at all. We feel like we're not being listened to. We feel like we're not being heard at all. And I think a lot of people are just getting tired of it. Really, a lot of people just want the developers to be true to the community, be open and honest with us, because at the end of the day, we pay their bills. Us buying cosmetics, content, even just playing the game, we pay their bills. We keep the lights on at Behavior. In the end, I think the main thing we can realistically hope for is that Behavior actually starts to get their act together towards the end of this year, and the next year, and hopefully the next few years of Dead by Daylight, continue to get better and better. The community grows more and more, because we are at an all-time player high, but that doesn't speak to the quality of the game, unfortunately. Hello again, it's me. Well, end of video me. I had a blast making this video. I never normally make long-form content, but honestly, I really do enjoy making it. It's a big challenge for me, because I'm used to just streaming years ago and making very short 30-second videos on TikTok and whatnot. So if you have any constructive criticism or feedback, if you think the video was shit, if you think the video was great, let me know. Let me know your thoughts about the state of Dead by Daylight, obviously, as well, although I'm pretty sure I'll already know what you're going to say. Hope you all have a lovely day and you all enjoyed the video.